So I had a thought. My back deck could use a makeover. Hi guys, my name is Rochelle, and my back deck was looking especially sad after its winter hibernation, and I think it could definitely use some jazzing up this year. It's looking a little lifeless and devoid of color, and we have got to change that. Starting with clearing off the furniture that's not even supposed to be out there, like this bistro set that actually belongs out front. And getting a jump on the plants that need some time to grow so they'll look good when we're done. As you can see, we do have some existing planter boxes here on the deck. I think we have about 5 of the black ones and maybe 3 or 4 of the green ones. But this year, we're not loving the idea of having both. It's just feeling a little bit chaotic, you know? So we were thinking of going either or, and I think we're leaning towards black. So we thought about spray painting the existing green ones, but with the price of spray paint these days, but also I went online and it seems like Rona might be having a little bit of a sale. So come with me. Is that it? Is it supposed to have something in the bottom? Like that? That's the one. What about a fire pit?
We're not allowed.
Yeah, I know. You're touching roots. We also picked up a new flag to go on our flagpole because the last one had seen better days. Okay, so the deck is probably almost 40 years old and nothing's really been done with it since then, but honestly, I'm not too mad at it because I've seen like stained decks and things and you have to keep that up year after year after year. And this is very low maintenance. So, you know, we gave it a little sweep, pounded in some screws. It's not the prettiest to look at, so I think we're gonna cover it up, and I think we found the perfect thing. Hold up. We found this giant, beautiful yellow outdoor rug on Facebook Marketplace for only $25. It covers up most of the lower level and adds some much needed color. So my mom and I went to Rona looking for a particular seating set, and when we got there, we might have fallen in love with a different, more expensive seating set, but it was on sale. The thing is, it's enormous. My mom and I could barely get this out of the car, so I think we're gonna have to take it piece by piece out of this box and bring it to the deck and assemble it there. That's the only thing that makes sense. This took way too long, in case you didn't notice the sun making its way across the sky as we built. Not as satisfying as I thought it would be. It's not like a mattress. Alrighty. Our living room side of the deck is starting to really shape up. This dining area here, not so much. I don't know if you can see this, but this table is like, it's high for some reason. I don't think this is quite right. And there are little wooden blocks that are on the bottom. So wherever this table was before, because it's definitely not new, I guess it needed to be propped up a little bit. I don't know. I think we need to remove these little wooden blocks and bring it back down to a dining table height. Yeah, let's do that. So my mom and I are not the only ones in the family who love a Facebook Market find. And my mom's sister found these, a set of 8 of them, super pretty, asked my mom if she liked them. I assume she said yes because these showed up as a birthday present for my mom not too long ago. These, I think, are going to be perfect for adding some bright color to this very neutral setup at the moment. Let's see how they look. Gorgeous. All right, there's our set of 4 chairs. Okay, so the very same aunt that gave us these chair cushions is also moving and does not have room for this teak table where she's heading. So it ended up here, and I'm very excited about it, but it has kind of seen better days. I think it needs a sand and maybe a refinish, bring it back to life, and I think it'll look amazing. So I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah? Alrighty. Cut! Ooh, no, no, no. Ooh, come down, I so. Okay, in case you couldn't tell, it rained, which did prevent us from accomplishing too much on the deck today. But once it stopped, we were able to get our existing offset umbrella out of the garage and onto the deck. She does have a couple of holes in her, but we were thinking rather than, toss her out and get something totally new, we're going to try and patch her up a little bit. And the bonus of using this umbrella is that she's already here and up. So that means maybe if it's sunny tomorrow, you'll find me on the sectional. I think there's something we can add to make this even more comfortable and cute. So while my mom was working on sanding the table, I decided to take the fabric we had picked out and the thrifted inserts we had picked up and get to work making some throw pillows. I will be the first to admit that I am not the strongest sewist, and even though I've made countless zippered throw pillow covers the same way, I still watch the same tutorial as I'm starting, every single time. It's a pretty straightforward process, and the pillows always turn out great. Ooh. The table looks so much better with the conditioner on, but we barely got it done before it threatened to rain, and rain it certainly did. Okay, so I liked this cushion so much, I did it 7 more times, and it looks incredibly cozy out here. You will catch me on this sectional all summer long. However, I can't get to relaxing just yet. We have so much more to do, so I better get to it. The sun keeps changing. No, I don't know if I said that. Oh my God. So I was, oh my God. No, no, no. Almost lost the magnet. Okay. Hey, so I was originally pretty stoked to use this umbrella that we already had here on the deck, and don't get me wrong, there have been some lovely days and I have definitely taken advantage of it being here and sat on that sectional, just loving life. However, today we were at the hardware store and basically the identical umbrella was on a very deep discount for $100, and we bought it. I would love to be able to, make use of something that we already have. We even bought patches, like the iron-on patches, and I think it could have looked cute, but just with the amount of time and effort that we're putting into trying to make this deck look nice, it just felt like this was a sign that maybe the deck deserved a new umbrella. And that's not to say that this umbrella is going in the trash. We've got some space down in the backyard where we might be able to put it to use. But yeah, to make a long story short, we bought a new umbrella. On the one hand, while it feels kind of shitty to not put this to use up here, I do think in the end we will be happier with an umbrella that looks new, because we do want to spend a lot of time up here and really enjoy this space. So new umbrella. Just kidding. That umbrella didn't really work out for us. So the original one is back and the patches to come. Okay guys, not gonna lie, I'm getting the teensiest bit annoyed by how long this makeover is taking. It is taking so freaking long, thanks to rain delays and obviously getting busy with other things. I would really like to be able to finish this deck so that I can enjoy this deck and not just be working on it. You feel me. So today I'm gonna make a big push. I'm actually gonna go down in the workshop and maybe build a couple things. I'm very excited about that. Other than that, there's a few maybe decorating choices to make. And yeah, guys, I really just wanna get over there and lie down. Okay, so something I've noticed when I've been enjoying laying out on the corner of that sectional is that it's just a little bit too much effort to sit up, lean forward, and place my drink on the coffee table. An absolute first world problem, I do recognize that, but it is a problem that I think I can solve with a very simple build. I want to make a very straightforward, very simply designed C table that is just going to sit above the cushions on the sectional, and it's just going to provide a very easy place to pop down my drink right next to it. This should be a very quick and easy process. A few months ago, probably during the winter time, my mom and I were driving through our neighborhood and we found this entire stack of wood at the curb. And it's just been sitting in our garage drying out ever since. I think this might be the perfect opportunity to make use of some of this. You know, it's not pressure treated, it's not cedar, it's not probably meant for the outdoors, but I think I'm gonna slap a little bit of exterior paint on most of it. And honestly, this wood was free. So if something happens to it in the next year or two, I will not be heartbroken. And I really want to make use of some of this wood that was just going to end up at the landfill anyways. So that feels good. So I just used the planer to knock off some of the nasty that was on the outside of the boards just from sitting in the rain for a few days. They're not perfect. They're not even actually pretty, but they are good enough to go ahead with this build. Okay, no word of a lie, this is one of the greatest things I have bought in recent history. It's just a little outlet where you plug in your vacuum and a tool that you want to use with your vacuum, and this will cause the vacuum to turn on whenever you turn on your tool, and then about 7 seconds after you turn off your tool, it will turn off the vacuum. This has been an absolute game changer for using the table saw, because before, for every little cut, you had to run around, turn on the vacuum, come back, turn on the saw, make your cut, come back around, turn off the vacuum. It was a whole thing. So with this, I can just use the saw as normal and the vacuum goes on and off. I've used it for the sander too, so if you guys have any kind of workshop set up where you want to use a tool in combination with a vacuum, get something like this. Yeah, get on this. If you haven't already, get on this. Come on. So I started by ripping all of my pieces to 2.5 inches wide at the table saw. I did it to 2.5 inches because that is the size of a standard 1x3 that you could just pick up at the hardware store, no table saw needed. Next thing I did was cut my strips to length at the miter saw. I have 8 pieces that are 12 inches long and 6 pieces that are 16 inches long. Of the 12-inch pieces, I put aside the 5 that look the best, that are gonna be the top of my table, and then the rest of the pieces can kind of be a little bit iffy because we're gonna paint them anyways. I am about to add pocket holes to all of my boards in order to join them together. Oh my God, I wasn't paying attention at all. I was too busy dancing. So I actually didn't need pocket holes in like half of these boards. The top, the bottom, that's okay though. That's okay. That's okay, because we were gonna plug them up anyways, so we might as well just plug them first. Ah! Okay, so these are 3/8 inch dowels. That's the size you need. That is perfect for plugging up pocket holes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue these in, let them dry for a bit, cut them flat with a flush trim saw or a multi-tool. This just adds so much unnecessary time and stress.
This should be a very quick and easy process.
That's how DIY goes. Okay, now we're gonna assemble it. The sides of the table are made up of all these 16-inch pieces that we had cut, 3 pieces per side. All right, so now that we've got our 2 C-shaped sides, we can just go ahead and assemble the rest by filling in the spaces with the 12-inch pieces. Yeah, like this. And if you have to leave, I wish that you would just leave, but your presence still lingers here, and it won't leave me alone. Your fears. I used 2 of the uglier boards to secure the sides together to form the base of the table, and then attached 1 more board partway up for some added stability. Clamping your pieces together before driving the screw makes it so much easier. You know what? I lied to you. I didn't like the spacing of the 5 slats across the top, so I cut another slat. Now there's 6. Okay. Look at her. Once the frame for the seat table was mostly back together, I hit that with 2 coats of some exterior brown paint, and for the slats for the tabletop, I stained those and then top coated with 2 coats of exterior polyurethane. Okay, building and painting that little sea table took way longer than it was supposed to. So while that is drying, we are going to power through the second build that I want to do for the deck. The offset umbrella that's up there is weighed down by these patio stones. And honestly, it's a neutral look. It's not in your face. It's not hurting anybody. But I do think it could be a little cuter. So we are just going to make a little cover essentially for the base of that umbrella out of wood. Those wooden boards that we picked up at the side of the road were great for the build of the sea table, but they weren't really long enough for most of the pieces that I need in my designs, so I wasn't really wanting to be joining boards together or anything. So I picked up some pressure-treated wood from the hardware store, and we are going to make this entirely out of these boards, plus a couple pieces of leftover pressure-treated wood that we had from a deconstructed project. Yeah, that's basically it. Make sure that you're wearing a mask whenever you're cutting pressure-treated wood, especially because the chemicals in that are not fun. I'm also going to be using a pocket hole joinery to put this project together, and this time I only drilled holes where I needed them. The idea is to build 2 sections that can come together around the base of the umbrella. If anyone knows what the name of this specific type of latch is, can you let me know in the comments, because I hate not knowing the proper name of things. Anyways, this is what's going to keep our 2 sections together. Since the leftover pressure-treated wood had been outside and gotten wet, I put my SawStop table saw into bypass mode to make sure it didn't trigger the braking system as I was cutting. I did, however, trip the breaker, as I sometimes do when using the saw and the vacuum at the same time. But when my cuts were done, I took everything outside to start assembling my cover in place to make sure my support pieces were resting on the stones. When driving pocket screws, I like to turn down the torque and lower the speed on the drill to avoid the screw busting out the other side. Then I could add my slats to the top with space in between for drainage. And I decided to brad nail them down instead of using screws for a cleaner look. Okay, so it's done. I ended up adding more reinforcements on the underside than I thought I was going to. People might actually step on this to maneuver the umbrella up and down. So I wanted to make it as strong as possible. Let me show you. To actually step with this. And it still comes apart so that we can store it for the winter time and bring it back out next year. You guys, we are tantalizingly close to finishing this deck makeover. So it is time to put this table back together so that we can get this outside, maybe do a few more things, and then we get to enjoy it. So. I realized afterwards that putting pocket holes in the bottom of these slats was really kind of pointless. The only thing you're ever going to put down on top of this is like a beverage or something light. So in order to save those screws, I think I am just going to glue brad nail. You'll barely see the brad nails across here, and then this table will be done. We can get it out there and we can move on. So I was 100% wrong. You can definitely see all of the nail holes. So I will in fact be going in with wood filler and a paint touch-up. Okay, that's it. We are getting this deck done today. I am tired of all the delays. I want to be able to enjoy this deck. However, today is the hottest day of the year so far. It is over 30 degrees Celsius outside right now. It is toasty. So the only reason I am willing to go ahead and work on this deck is because I'm at my home, which means I can pop inside at any time for a break. I have unlimited access to ice cold water, and I've got my sunscreen slathered all over my body, and I can reapply anytime. That being said, I would like to get this done quickly. So we are going to start with lighting and then maybe add some decor pieces to the deck. And then I think we're good to go. Like, obviously other little things can be added at any time, but the majority of the deck will be good to go, ready to enjoy all summer long. This light fixture, she's cute, but honestly I think she was a little bit of a mistake. She's just not doing it for me. And we don't have an outlet out here. And why am I just discovering that there are light fixtures with integrated outlets? I don't know, but ever since I learned of this, I knew I had to have one for here. So I'm gonna go turn off the breaker. Speaking of the breaker though, this house is about 40 years old, and when it was built, they did not label any of the breakers. Fantastic. And throughout the years, we have just gotten so fed up with trying to figure out which breaker is which, we just throw the master switch every single time. So that's going to be just a little bit of an added time crunch on this particular task, because once I hit that switch, the AC is coming off. So we got to get this done and done fast so we can turn it back on so I have a nice, cool house to retire to. Okay, let's do it. Guys, I think the tripod just burnt my leg. We've got to get this done. Gotta get this done. Na, 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 na. Right? Cute. Outlets. Nice. Time for a quick break. So I do have to put some clear silicone around this light fixture, but hot as it is, I don't think the silicone is going to set properly at the moment. So we're going to wait on that. But I do think that we can move ahead with adding our other lighting to the deck. And the primary reason for wanting to have an outlet on the light fixture was so that we could have these little string lights. Now, they're not like the regular big bulb string lights. They are more akin to Christmas lights, but they are white light, brown cord, and we've had them for, I think, literal years. So it is time that we actually put them to use on this deck. I don't know exactly how we want to string it up, but the idea is to do it along the railing. And a good place to start is by plugging an extension cord into our new outlet. You know what? I had 6 boxes. I used 6 boxes. I made a rough guess, and this was just the first shot. But it's a little bit difficult to see, so honestly, I might wait for it to get a little bit darker outside, and then we'll see if the spacing is something we're enjoying, and maybe add a few staples for security. At some point in the past, we had shelves on the wall here, but there's still screws here and here. And maybe just, yeah. So we had these brackets in the basement doing nothing. So we're gonna pop them out here. Just gotta see if I can screw that down. I used a Roman OG bit in the router to make a quick decorative shelf the other day when I was building. I don't know if that will work. That is so warped. Just cut this and painted this. And it was out for like 2 days, just chilling out here. Well, okay. You know what? I screwed it in. It's just for some light decor and whatnot, so it's not that deep. I think it'll be okay. We'll see. So I wasn't able to find as good a deal on another outdoor rug as I was able to for the yellow one, but that's okay. This was actually still not bad. I think I picked this up for $30 plus tax at Home Depot, which is great because it's 6x9, and a lot of the other 6x9s I was seeing were almost double the price. So still a steal, even though she's new. And I think the blue is actually going to look really nice because they're not there right now, but the seat cushions actually have a lot of blue in them, and there's some blue going on down in our lower backyard. So I do think it will coordinate quite nicely. So let's put it down. Okay, I'm getting tired. Yo, I might have to screw down these planks on the umbrella stand. Water is no joke. Water is destructive. Anyways, for another day. I'm actually quite liking this blue color over here, and a part of me was a little bit worried that just the blue on blue wouldn't be like enough of a pop, given that the other one is like yellow and white, so it has more contrast. But I actually think I kind of like it. And when we get the cushions up on these seats, I think it's going to tie in even more. And just add that really nice, more subtle pop of color to the bottom here. And I got a 6x9 because, frankly, the bigger rugs were much more expensive. And we probably would have needed like an 8x10. And if I did that, then we would have a foot less of width, and then the rug would go like right to the door, which I thought would just be weird. So we're going to keep a doormat there. And then I did the 9-foot this way, and then the 6-foot just for the length of the table. And you know what? I think it's going to work, because this is mostly for just like having something nice on your feet while you're dining. Anyways, what I really wanted to show you was this, because last year we had a round dining table here. We had a standard metal round umbrella base. Because this table is narrower than the circular one was, there isn't really room underneath it for a standard umbrella base with all of the chair legs pushed in. So, and we can't do without an umbrella base because this umbrella doesn't even stand up straight in here. So we got to do something about that. And that's where this comes in. It is meant to be screwed right to our wooden deck. And the rug itself is polypropylene, so I think I can kind of coax the screw between the fibers, if you know what I mean, and not do too much damage to the rug. But again, It was $30. Not the end of the world. And it's outside. It's an outdoor rug. Why am I putting this much thought into it? We're going to screw this to the deck and then we're going to put the umbrella in it. And that's it. Okay, we are getting close. It is getting late and it is still flipping hot out here. So I'm uncomfortable and tired and honestly a little bit over this deck makeover. But we persevere, we push through, we patch because there are some holes in this umbrella that just won't do. We did pick up some iron-on patches, which should cover the hole. And so in order to iron on the patch, I need the iron. Guess where I can plug it in? That's right. Oh yeah, baby. I've also got these other two butterflies that are smaller, but I think I need to do this so they stay so I can stitch them. My neighbor just came out on the deck, well within her rights to do so, but I'm too nervous to keep talking, so I haven't really looked at my to-do list, but I think I'm done. Okay, we got a lot done. I'm so hot, so sweaty. I am so gross right now. I have to go shower. I'll see you tomorrow. Is this shelf already warped? Yes. Is this shelf already cracked? Yes, it is. Will I be changing this shelf out right now? Absolutely not. I do not have the time or energy to redo a shelf right now, and it's on the wall. I have faith that it's going to hold up just like a simple planter or something, and if it should break or fall off the wall, that's the beauty of DIY. I'll fix it then, you know? For now, it's okay. So I was able to score these beautiful melamine dishes off of Facebook Marketplace for $5. You guys, it was a set of 12 that is like 4 place settings, and they had never been used. So that's an absolute win. Something I don't think a lot of people talk about is the realities of making over a space over time, just in your free time, because I bought these flowers quite a while ago, and when I bought them, they were this glorious white splotched pattern, and there are still some white spots on there, but nowhere near what they looked like when I purchased them. That's okay though. They're still absolutely beautiful. They just, if I had filmed this a couple weeks ago, they would have still looked like that. Also, there's a yellow hibiscus in here that had some absolutely stunning blooms on it earlier, and I'm sure it will again. You just can't see it, so it is what it is. So we found this absolutely adorable little solar-powered lamp at HomeSense, and it's a great addition to the table, but we are kind of worried that windy as it is sometimes, it's going to blow over. So we have these cute little hand-painted rocks that my nieces made, and I think that's going to be perfect for weighing it down. This barbecue might look familiar to some of you. Comment down below if you recognize where it's from. Not gonna lie, I don't know if the shots of this deck are gonna look all that glamorous. I just kind of want to show you guys things how they are. So yeah, there's a couple of random chairs that are sitting here in case we have extra people come over. There is some dirt on the deck, the dead blossoms off of some flowers. I did a little sweep to get rid of some stuff, but it's a deck outside and this is how it is. So I hope you enjoy. It was a lot of hard work. There were some frustrating rain delays, heat delays. There were not a lot of perfect days to get to work on this makeover. So I'm really glad that it came together. It looks great. It's comfortable. That's really all you need. You know what, though? It is about 30 degrees Celsius out here right now. I'm getting a little toasty, so I don't think that I can stay out here right now. But I think you guys should come back at night and see it with the lights on, too. That teak finish? You can talk to me if you want. You don't want your voice on the thing. No?
Are we done?
Well, you already pressed cut.
Well, I didn't know where you were going with this.